And welcome back to episode 15. I am absolutely fired up for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Commissioner Cole Wagner, Jared Snyder to the top corner. We are back, episode 15 of the UFL Newsletter podcast, and this is going to be an exciting one. No more team previews. It is now. Week one is in the books. It's done. It happened. Jared, I'm so excited to recap this first week and preview week two. How you feeling, man? We are back in football action, baby.
I'm feeling good. I honestly have missed real football, and it feels good just watching it actually unfold.
100%, dude. 100%. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. We're going to go through every single. This is going to get super distracting for all of you. I know it is. Just watching that Old Spice commercial in the background. We are going to preview or recap every single fantasy game in week one. And then we are going to preview every single game in week two and just give our takes right now as it stands. I'm super pumped. So let's get right into this, ladies and gentlemen. I am sharing the screen now. I'm so fired up. It just feels so good to talk about some real UFL action. Here we go. Week one, a UFL Cup rematch from the 2024 UFL Cup between me and David Katz. And after losing 165 to 159 in a heartbreaker, David Katz is back, baby. He absolutely stuns my squad with a 62-point ass whooping in week one. Jared, what are your initial thoughts on this game? This is a massive confidence booster for D Kitty.
Yeah, you got absolutely thrashed. I texted you the day before. I asked you about how you're feeling about Jay Jettas the next day. You said, we've packed it in already for the week. After what Lamar and Derek did to you, even regardless if they lost their football game, they did more than enough to make sure David won his. So.
I it is insane how good of a team he continues to have. Just a fun fact off the top of my head, Lamar Jackson scored 38 in the UFL Cup. He scores 38 once again. Derrick Henry scored 41 in the UFL Cup. He scores 40 right up the bat again. These two are the heart and soul of David Katzenmeyer's team, and that is now 15 games in a row, including playoff games, that David Katz has scored more than 100 points. We are seeing a run like no other before. This team is star-studded, and we have kind of forgotten about how good David's team really is because of that UFL Cup loss. But man, I am telling you, this is a dangerous squad. And if he is putting up 134 with Jahmyr Gibbs getting 9 and DJ Moore getting 10, that is an absolute problem. Jared, right now, is there anybody in your mind that's better than David Katzenmeyer in this league?
It's got to be Devin just because of how bad the Bengals were week one and what he still was able to put up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That in my mind, that's the only guy as well for me. And look, I'm this is kind of a weird, I don't want to be that guy that is still like I told you so, even though I lost, because it is humbling to still lose. But I did say people were putting me at the top. ESPN projects me as the number one. I told you, man, David and Devin are the top. I am below. And what did I tell you? It is because of running back and flex. That is my problem. Now, Jamar Chase getting 6. I don't expect that to continue. But once again, I have run into a serious issue here. Ramondre Stevenson with 4 points, Jawan Jennings with 4 points. That is not a recipe for success. I don't care how good of a star-studded team you have. You're not going to beat the David Katzes of the world with that kind of performance. Let's say Jamar Chase put up 30. That's an extra 24 points. That still puts me at 96. I'm still not even close. So that is why you have to have a complete performance. And right now, my team is not looking exactly how I'd want. Just telling you all now, I don't plan on making any moves tomorrow. I do plan on rolling out the same starting lineup in week two. However, I may bring Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt into the mix with an 18-point performance. David Katz, one more note on him. I have been hearing that Baker Mayfield is back in trade talks with David Katz. He talked to multiple owners last night regarding a possible Baker Mayfield trade. This is a player that has been talked about for now 365 days, it feels, that he could be flipped and dealt from David's squad. Look for Owen to then jump in, and we'll get into Owen in a little bit. Jared, any other comments on this week one ass whooping by David? Fantastic job by his team.
I feel like you should be a little excited that JJ McCarthy was able to, at least in that fourth quarter, show some promise. And
Yeah.
then, I mean, the Krosky Merritt thing looks a little bit, if they do end up using him more, it looks somewhat promising for you to have some stability. Like maybe he can take that Brian Robinson role for you again.
Yeah, I like JJ. I thought and it's not so much the stats that really wowed me. By the way, 19's a very good performance. I'm completely fine with that. But 13 of 20, 143, three touchdowns, one pick, including the rushing touchdown. It's the way he was poised in his first ever NFL career start on the road, week one. It's the way he kind of dealt with adversity and kept his eye on the prize, as one would say. Like I really admired that. I thought he was very mature, even in the press conference post game. So definitely feeling good about JJ McCarthy, another guy on a rookie deal for me. But again, I still think I'm just one tier above that elite squad. David, excellent job. That's a great way to start off week one from David Katz. That's a statement. That's a statement play. Okay, on to game two. Devin and Andrew, another 2024 UFL playoff rematch. Andrew beat Devin in round one last year, 130 to 107. Devin now comes back and beats Andrew 123 to 82. Look, man, Andrew has never had good quarterback play when he's faced Devin. For the last four matchups, Andrew has not had a quarterback go above 7 points against Devin, which is insane. He gets another dud at quarterback, and this continues to be a absolute problem for Andrew Stiffel. CJ Stroud with four, yes, 4 points. This is something that has aggravated him for too long. He is already pulling the string short, and we'll preview it in week two. But CJ Stroud with 4 points, that's a problem. Jared, what is your reaction to this week two game?
Um, Honestly, Stiffel's team, I just remember us in the preview talking about the Houston and Rams matchup being that was going to decide who's going to be his quarterback going forward. And it looks like Stafford probably should have been that guy for him week one. But I also remember us talking about Kenneth Walker and how Charbonnet could end up taking that responsibility from him. And it kind of does look like that happened week one. I don't know if you kept up with that game much.
Yeah, I did hear that Charbonnet had 58% of the carries or 58% of the snaps, 14 fantasy points from Charbonnet. No, you're 100% right. And this is going to be something that Andrew's going to have to monitor, the Kenneth Walker deal. And then just looking at quarterback, CJ Stroud, he was the bottom of the barrel in fantasy last year, quarterback. And if this is going to continue to be a problem for Andrew, this kind of messes with his cap situation because the move all along was to let Stafford go and to just play with Stroud on that rookie deal and then maybe get a cheap, veteran to have side by side. But now this puts Andrew in a little bit of a predicament. And I'm not too sure what he's going to do. The rest of his lineup, Bucky Irving with 12, Brian Thomas Jr. with 10 was not involved. CeeDee Lamb with 31, excellent job by CeeDee, although in real life, four massive drops in that game. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., you and I talked about this in the preview. That's 23 points for Marvin. I do expect them to use him more. So I'm not too concerned with Andrew. I would say the two things is Kenneth Walker, like you said, if Charbonnet starts eating into that playing time, and I've heard that his foot could be more serious than people think with the injury, and CJ Stroud. Now, luckily, Andrew does have a good bench. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I think he's got some people that he can fall back on. And I think if he wants just an idea to throw out there for Andrew, if he wants to get extreme and he really wants to blow this thing up, drop Stroud or see if somebody I don't think anybody wants him, but like go pick up Dart. You get your rookie cheap quarterback. He's probably going to see the field this year. He doesn't seem to care for Stroud. He can play Stafford every week. If Stafford gets hurt, move him to the IR spot. pick up somebody else for a week to week thing. But I think if Stifel wants to make a play for the future, maybe just move on from Stroud. Don't
Wow. That is a gutsy, gutsy, very hot take to drop CJ. I think he would get picked up in a heartbeat. I really,
well then he can get his pickings from somebody else's quarterbacks
yeah.
that maybe can start immediately.
Yeah, 100%. That's a gutsy play there from the Snyder man. Okay, looking at Devon's roster. Joe Burrow, 9 points. Saquon with 22. Ricky Pearsall goes for 100 yards, and there's 28 points right there for Ricky P. T. Higgins with 8. Brock Bowers, 27. Did get a little banged up with the knee. Christian McCaffrey. And when Christian McCaffrey is healthy, I just don't know if there's a squad more dangerous than Mr. BOA Devin Smith. Jared, he scored 123 points and Joe Burrow had 9, like you said. You're gonna come out and say right now Devin is the team to beat right now in this league?
I don't see, even just glancing at the bench really quickly, like Russell Wilson, I'm not really worried about that part. But the RJ Harvey and Matthew Golden thing, Golden didn't really wow me in the debut or anything, but if he does step into that kind of role that they expect him to be, I think Devin has just like an entirely complete team because Burrow's going to go out there put up huge numbers most weeks. He's got Saquon and McCaffrey. McCaffrey in himself is a league winner when he stays around the whole season. He's
Right.
got Bowers, who still looks like he's going to be tearing through him. Gino's airing the ball out. And yeah, he's pairing T with Joe. So like it's just I think it's we should expect like the level of David's dominance from last year, I think, out of Devin's team this year.
I 100% agree. I
But
100
I think Devin's team's even scarier because I think his skill positions, like outside of the running back and quarterback combo, is just scarier.
And one more thing here too is these are two really big wins for Devin and David because they are getting two of their wins right off the bat, not just in general, but against two really good opponents. If you're
Yeah.
getting myself and Andrew out of the way now, that now leaves, really Devin only has to face David from here on out because I'm pretty sure me and Devin don't play each other. So uh, there's definitely something to look out for here. Devin and David just seem to be the two top dogs as we speak. We'll preview week 2 with Andrew's team, but definitely something to look out for there. Okay, matchup number 3. Here we go. Evan Antonucci beats Owen Stiffel 89 to 74. This was another round 1 rematch where Evan absolutely blew the doors off of Owen Stiffel with a 147 to 74 beating for the biggest blowout in UFL playoff history, and he comes back and he beats Owen in a heartbreaker once again, not just beating him by 15 points. That's not the reason. It is because every position other than quarterback combined for 29 points, but it doesn't matter because Josh Allen put up a 60-piece burger while Tua Tagovailoa put up -8 for Owen while everybody else combined for 82 points. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. Owen's roster had more points besides their quarterback than almost Evans' whole entire team combined this week, and it doesn't matter because Tua gets -8. Jonathan Taylor and Jerry Jeudy with 17, Drake London 13, Jacoby Myers 24, underrated player, and Ashton Jeanty with 11. Look, man, 60 points from Josh Allen. 6 from Terry McLaurin for Evan, 5 Nico Collins, 0 K. Otten, 8 Tony Pollard, and 10 DeAndre Swift. It is time for Evan to just understand he is the luckiest owner in this league, and I continue to say it over and over and over again. Quarterback does matter. What a performance by Josh Allen. What is your thoughts on this crazy game here from Evan?
Like it's like it's he played his matchup. He won his matchup.
Yeah,
Josh Allen came in, did what he needed to do.
yeah.
I think the Terry McLaurin thing should ease up a little bit. I do think Debo's going to eat into those touches because I think Debo's just a little bit better at inside the numbers stuff
Okay.
versus Terry. So I think he's just going to get a lot of the quicker stuff that maybe Terry could have got in the past, and Terry maybe just misses out on some random touches. But I think Nico is just a victim of the Texans' horrible offensive line. Like he definitely should be performing at a higher level than 5 points, I feel like. That's just the
Oh,
Texans offense is miserable right now.
dude, Nico on film, Nico's a top 5 wide receiver in the league, and I mean that. Like he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. So, but I'll tell you what though, Jared. I'll tell you what though. You get a combined 11 points out of Terry and Nico, and you still win.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you take that every day of the week if you're Evan. And this is where sometimes, you look at Evan's roster, and I got on him all off season. I grilled him. I absolutely grilled him about just being complacent. His bench was weak. He runs back the same lineup. He was extremely lucky last season, 24% luck, luckiest season in UFL history. But sometimes luck is just skill. And what I mean by that is you have the best quarterback in football, if not top three, top two, in Josh Allen. And this is what you get when you have a Josh Allen. And this is where quarterback play does matter. And I continue to tell people it's because of the drop off. When Tua has a Tua-like performance like he did with -8, Josh Allen then comes out with a 60 piece. That allows you to come out and win this game, even though the rest of your team stunk it up. And this is a big confidence booster for Evan. If you're putting up almost 90 points with stinkers running back through flex because of Josh Allen, because I don't see Josh. I mean, he's not putting up 60 probably again, but I don't see him. He's not going to be dropping off anytime soon. He's an MVP. So I think this is a big win for Evan. For Owen's sake, look, man, Owen is very impulsive and he's already shopping. He's looking at Baker Mayfield. Sources told Hefty Shefty today. I saw that he's talking to DJ regarding Geno Smith. This is a reoccurring theme here, Jared. Does Owen need to calm down a little bit after just one bad week, or are you excited to see him make trades right off the bat? And should he ship two off?
I don't think he should ship Tua off necessarily, just because of like Tua's ability to consistently produce yards, even if it's garbage time yards. They do typically at the end of the game try to figure out a way to string stuff together. Now, his quarterback situation does look horrible. So I guess if he's in terms of the future and the cap situation, if he's planning to move Tua and go bring in Baker, I think that is a good move since he
I
does have Cam Ward, and I think Cam Ward looked pretty solid for
Oh,
the
he
most
did.
part.
He
I mean, I
did.
don't I don't think the Titans were doing him any favors at all.
No, no. The film doesn't lie. It showed Cam Ward played well. Played well. Uh, I agree. I agree. I think Owens at a little bit of a crosshairs because he's got a really good team and he's got a really deep bench. And it's just we don't know who he's shipping off. You've got a lot of young guys, but then you got a lot of older guys, and it's a stacked roster. The problem is I don't think there's a true elite quarterback that can win him a UFL Cup, but maybe you can. We saw it with Taleb in 2022 with Kirk Cousins. We saw it with Will in 2023 with Gardner Minshew. So we've seen it before. You don't need a Josh Allen to go win the Cup. Maybe. We haven't seen it with the new real scoring format like last year when David and myself met with Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson. So it's going to be interesting to see here with Tua coming down the line. How much longer will Owen keep him on a leash, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. No other real big facts in this game other than Evan just continues his dominance.
There's
Um,
one thing. There's
oh,
one
go
thing.
ahead, go ahead.
We have to put some respect on his name. You see him down there. Look at the projection. Look at how many points he puts up.
Who is this?
It's Josh Palmer.
Oh, Josh Palmer. Hey, there's 15. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. JP starts out with 15 on the bench. I will give you that every day of the week. We will continue to monitor the Josh Palmer situation. Thank you, Jared, for your
Got
input.
you. Got you.
Thank you. All right, on to the next game. Will Daniel faces off against Cole Pletcher in a 2023 UFL Cup rematch, and Willie D continues his dominance over CP3 Pletcher 93 to 62. Will is now 4-0-2 against Cole Pletcher in the last six matchups, not even including that UFL Cup loss Pletcher took. I think it's obvious Cole Pletcher is entering rebuild mode. He stated it. We all believed it. He is aiming for 2026 over 2025. 15 points from Trevor Lawrence, 7 from David Montgomery, 17 from Lad McConkey, 6 from Travis Hunter, 2 from Xavier Legette, and 15 from J.K. Dobbins. Kind of a head scratcher here, starting Leggett over Jaden Reed. I didn't like that move a whole bunch, but I understand it. Just give me your thoughts here on Cole Pletcher's 62-point performance, Jared.
I think if Pletcher wants to be engaged with his team this year, I think he's got to hope that a lot of that was week one rust that was going on with his team right there.
Right,
Because I just don't see the player that's going to be maybe Lad. And if Travis Hunter does grow into that role, to be just that big impact player where they're going to be making splash plays and scoring him a lot of points.
right.
Because it seems like David's trending down because it did look like Gibbs. I don't know exactly on the snap share, but it looked like Montgomery was not getting as many of the opportunities he was last year.
Yeah, Travis Hunter was used more in a slot role, which
And
was
he was getting, if it was last year, he would have been eating good on those catches. He had like
yeah,
8 targets for
yeah.
6 catches or something.
Yep, exactly. 100%, dude. 100%. Um, so yeah, definitely kind of a dud game here from Pletcher. Trevor Lawrence with 15 is all right, but you really wanted to see more out of Travis in his debut, and I'm really starting to get concerned for Xavier Legette moving forward. I do expect Jaden Reed to hop back in that starting lineup for Pletcher.
Well,
Um,
okay, we do have one thing we can be a little bit excited about. I don't know exactly what the deal is now with Judkins. It was more for the bench because I just saw Judkins down there because he
yeah,
did
yeah,
sign his deal and stuff, right? So
yeah.
what's going on there? Do we, as a Browns fan, do you know any more than me about what's going on regarding that?
He may play week two. He may. I think
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah. I think he may for real.
Well, then honestly, I think that is a big boost to his team because he might actually have just somebody that might grow into that starting role that he needs.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? I actually like Cole's team. I don't like it. It's sad because like it's good on paper, like salary cap, rebuild,
Yeah.
draft capital. Like he's doing it the right way. We're just gonna see some more losses than wins, I think, this year for Pledger. But I do think he's doing the right things, and I think he's building this team the right way. It's just gonna take time to really come into fruition. Uh,
Hmm.
Looking at Will's 93 piece, I think Will is consistently becoming a real pain in the ass. And we read about it in this week's recap on the UFL newsletter. Will has now put up 90 plus points. I think in like 6 straight weeks, he's won. I think he's won six in a row or something like that, dating back to last year, four in a row. So Will is really bumping up here, and he's got a lot of momentum. Um, riding high. It took his guys just getting back healthy. Jordan Love with 24 points. Just looking at Jordan Love's game, he ranked third among quarterbacks in quarterback rating according to ESPN this week. Jordan Love looked really good. Would you agree?
Yeah, it looked like they were working. I don't want to say that it was like the quicker game, but it kind of just seemed like they were just binging and bonging the ball around the field on them and just making things happen. Like it wasn't like he was as reckless. He felt there was the
Yeah.
one play to Anzalone where he just floated it right to him, but outside of that play, he seemed a lot more tame than he had been in the past, which
Yeah,
I
more.
think is a good thing for them because I think when he's running a little wild, he needs to be reeled back in sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. I would agree with that. Rookie Travion Henderson gets the nod with Joe Mixon out. Probably, it's really looking like long term here for Will. That's going to be something to monitor. But Travion Henderson with 7 points. Hopefully, that'll improve as we go with Will not having a real sure RB2 to slot in. Devontae Adams, 14 points. The longest tenured player in the UFL, by the way. Devontae Adams has been with Will for all 5 years now, going on, this is the sixth year with Willie D. That's incredible. He's been kept 3 times, drafted twice, I believe. Just an insane run that we're seeing here with Will and Devontae, who had 40 points in that UFL Cup victory, so that was an all-time performance. Puka Nacua with 36, just an incredible player. 10 receptions, 130 yards. Puka is that guy. Calvin Ridley and Jamison Williams combined for six. Jared, with the JMO extension, 3 years, 83 mil, it's becoming obvious this is probably the last time we see this four wide receiver set here for Will together. Puka's probably getting paid after this year. Calvin's making 23. Devontae's making 22. Jameson's gonna be making 27 on the books next year. Just talk to me a little bit about if you think Will can is are you confident in this team after seeing how they did week one? What is your thoughts on Will?
I feel good. I think I mean, maybe scroll down the rest of his bench. I just want to make sure I see everybody down there. Okay, yeah, no, just Shuck. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I would say the backup quarterback situation I'd be a little worried about just since Spencer Rattler beat out Shuck for right now.
Right, right.
Um, I do like his receivers. I think Ridley and Williams going forward should be performing at a higher level than 6 points. I
Yeah,
think the Lions, now I think were not ready to be performing the way they did.
right.
But Ridley, I mean, he dropped some passes in that game. I think he dropped back-to-back passes. I don't know if that was
Oh,
I don't remember exactly. I thought it was like I know there was the play at the end of the game that he dropped and then there was something else in the mix that I didn't think was too good for him. But
yeah.
I mean, he's the guy for the Titans offense. So I mean, he's got to perform. If he doesn't perform, they're just going to be horrible to watch all year.
No, I agree. I agree. Tough look for the Titans. Good look for Will. Great win
Yeah.
here in week one for Will. Okay, on to matchup number five. Caleb King against Brandon Buckner. Brandon wins 83 to 46. Caleb is looking like the worst team in the league. I tried to tell everybody that Caleb's not going to be good this year. And granted, it's only 1 week, but it feels like you really liked his squad when you mispronounced his name. That was before the Tyreek Hill trade. And Brandon, even going into this week, was like, damn, Taleb's got a good team. Everybody's kind of talking like Taleb has this great team. I'm like, really? I don't see it at all. I think it's,
In his defense, though,
yeah, go ahead.
Worthy got hurt on the first drive,
Fair.
and Keon Coleman and Michael Penix on the bench put up 30 plus.
Fair. That is
So
fair.
if he played some shuffle around with the lineup, he could have had a better performance. It did
Well,
look bad, but it was some bad luck in there.
I he did play shuffle with the lineup, and I just disagree with the way he did it. Like a couple hours before kickoff, I believe he benched Keon Coleman for Tank Bigsby before the third. No, yeah, before Sunday's kickoff, and I disagreed with that. I really did. I thought he should have kept Keon in there. I mean, you're going to trade away Tyreek Hill for a first round pick. You may as well use your replacement for Tyreek, Keon Coleman, and your young guys, and throw them in the lineup. I didn't like the start of Tank Bigsby, who only put up 2 points. So didn't like the way Taylor really managed his team that week. I'm not going to be mad at him for starting Brock Purdy over Michael Penix. But
Yeah.
Penix did look good on the bench with 36 points. Brock Purdy with 19. It does look like he has a shoulder injury, I believe. So that is something to
And a
monitor.
toe injury or something like that too.
Yeah, yeah, shoulder and a toe going into week two. That's going to be something to monitor as they go on the road to New Orleans. So look for Michael Penix to maybe get some action against Minnesota on Sunday Night Football. That would be,
I did like Jordan Mason also. He did
he
look
did
pretty
look
good.
good. He did.
Yeah.
I thought,
I don't I thought something like that might happen with Aaron Jones getting a little older.
yeah,
But I if Mason can move in and creep in and take a little bit more touches,
yeah.
that might help out Caleb to keep things competitive if Keon Coleman can keep producing while Worthy's hurt.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Jalen Waddle with only 7 points and dating back to now week 11 of 2022. This is now Caleb has yet to surpass 70 points as a team without Tyreek Hill in his lineup since week 11 of 2022. So we are waiting for Caleb just to break 70 without Tyreek Hill in that lineup. That just goes to show how important Tyreek was to Caleb for the last 3 seasons. Rashid Shaheed with 8 points. That's probably going to be the regular just because of the way that offense is operating. Rookie Amarion Hampton, Taleb's second overall pick, had 10 points. Didn't see a whole lot from Hampton, but he's a rookie first game. Gentile only had 11, so going to be interesting there. So not a good performance out of Taleb at all. The least amount of points in the week by far out of any owner. So definitely looking like Caleb is not going to be contending for playoffs this year, in my opinion. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it really does suck though that he did lose Worthy so easily because I think Worthy could have been somebody that could have been beneficial for just his team overall.
See, and I put out or I've read many articles this offseason. Now, Keon Coleman did surprise me, but I really thought two of the most overrated rookie receivers last year, going into the draft and even after the season, were Xavier Worthy and Keon Coleman, both on Caleb's roster. I thought Worthy is nothing more than a gadget guy, and he's too light for the league. And now we see that with his dislocated shoulder, we don't know when he'll be back. That may be a lingering injury here down the line. And Keon Coleman, a great guy when it's routes on air and he's just Josh is on the run scrambling and he needs a guy to throw to, but Keon's not going to win at the point of attack. He's not a route technician. He's not even that great of a contested catcher since his freshman year at college. So I thought the 37-point piece from Keon was really encouraging, but overall, I think Taleb's got a lot of overvalued players on that team and just not high on his team at all. But let's look at Brandon Buckner here. So he trades
Yeah.
away Zay Flowers on draft night, trades away Ramondre in the offseason, trades for Rashad Bateman, um, Evan Ingram, and Darnell Mooney. Mooney did not play. Jalen Hurts, 32 points. Really good game out of Jalen. Alvin Kamara, 16. Man, Alvin, I'll tell you what, he may not get you 40, but he ain't going to get you four. He's going to get you that nice 15 piece every week. He is just Mr. Consistent at this point in his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 13 points. Would like to see that come up a little bit. Khalil Shakir with 15. That is right on par for him. And Rashad Bateman with 2 and Evan Ingram with 5. Um, Look, I still don't like the trading away Zay Flowers, and we'll get into him in a second. He had a great week
Yeah.
one. Ingram now looks like he's going to be out with an injury. That's going to be a lingering problem. I think it's his hamstring, I want to say, but I'm not too sure on that. Bateman, again, we're waiting for Bateman to pop off. And when you trade almost a potential future first round pick for Bateman on draft night to Andrew, and he puts up 2, that is just not encouraging. It's an 83-point game. Brandon has scored more than 80 points now for like, I think the last time he did it was like week 9 of 2022, something insane. Like he's just been Mr. Consistent of a team. Um, I'm just kind of disappointed in Brandon. I really am. I think I'm happy for him to get the win. I think he's going to be a decent team. But I didn't see a whole lot here to be too happy about. But Jalen Hurts, he is QB1 from here on out for Buck.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Bo Nix, he stunk it up real bad. I don't know what was going on there, but just I think it's just his team is hopefully it's the week one rust. Like really hopefully that after week one, some of these players that put up stinkers, maybe the whole team as a whole looks better going forward, but
Right.
you have to see.
Overall, still a win, so
Yeah.
he will
It's a good feeling to get a win
yeah,
regardless because it
at
doesn't matter how
100%.
you looked.
No, no, nope, not at all. Okay, next matchup. This is an interesting one. Trent Slater
Hmm.
takes down Demontre Jones 134 to 104. Trent with tied for the most points in the league this week at 134. Look at the Italian stallion putting up a fight here, TT. I'm very proud of him. I thought he had a really good draft night. I thought he had a really good offseason. This is something to definitely watch here for Trent with a 30-point win. So let's get right into it. DJ, 32 points from Patrick Mahomes. That's pretty much on par. 15 from Josh Jacobs, 22 from Cortland Sutton, Mike Evans with 14. That is expected right there. Every
Yep.
single one of those numbers, that is exactly what you would expect. That is consistent production out of those veterans. This was the problem. Demario Douglas with 7. And then George Kittle with 14 is good. Honestly, 104 is a good performance from DJ. You can't really be too mad at
Yeah.
this. You'd like to see more out of Douglas. The problem now is Kittle is out he's going on IR.
Yeah.
And as I scroll down here, DJ's bench is absolutely atrocious. And he did it to himself on draft night. Jared, what would you do if you were DJ here with George Kittle going on IR? And how concerned should his fan base be?
Hmm. I would say it's a tough one because I mean, you absolutely got to drop Garendo. There's no business holding on to Garendo anymore, I don't think.
Right.
Go pick up just any running back that's on there that's got some upside. Like go get Ollie Gordon, go
Yeah.
get anybody, just anybody that's not going to be the third string running back, somebody that can at least move into the position to like take a starting role, like where
Right.
that is your upside, somebody getting hurt.
Yep.
And then at receiver, I don't even know who's at the top for receiver right now in the week, but Tesla. I've been hyping Tesla up all off season. Made the one-handed
Tesla.
grab.
Yeah.
He's supposed to get more opportunities going forward. He apparently had an illness right before week one. So
Yeah, and we'll look at that one previewing week 2, but yeah, just overall solid performance from DJ, but just not enough against Trent Slater. Justin
yeah,
Herbert with 43. And dating back to last year, Herbert's now had 4 games in a row with 30 plus points. And that is very encouraging for Trent and the Charger fan base in general. James Cook with 25. Zay Flowers, the new addition with 42. Just looking at this week alone, that's you look on draft night, he trades away Darnell Mooney and Evan Ingram, who combined for like 5 points this week. Obviously, Mooney out with an injury. And he gets Zay Flowers in return. That's 42 points. Everybody grilled him for drafting Ted McMillan over Travis Hunter. McMillan has 17 while Hunter has 6. This was a really good week for Trent. He's got to feel really good at that top four. Devontae Smith, though, with 4 and Isaiah Pacheco with 3 is not what you want to see. Or you could look at it as, damn, they sucked and Trent still got 134. It's looking like Trent is gonna be he's gonna be good. And this is something that's really good to see. If this is going to be a consistent theme, seeing Trent, he's always been good, but maybe be great. He's always been average, but I really want to see him make a run here. Just a new look for Trent to be making trades and getting aggressive. Jared, what is your thoughts, your initial reaction here on his week 1 performance?
I think he did great. I mean, the trade worked out perfectly for him. I also do have to add that in the offseason, I very desperately, as a Chargers fan, tried to make a trade for Justin Herbert with him, and he stood strong on that. So I assume he's very attached to Justin Herbert.
Yeah, yeah,
But if I was looking at his team, I would move Debo up into the flex over Pacheco right now, just because it doesn't seem like that Chiefs run game is like gonna be that
yeah.
lethal. And Debo seems like he's just gonna be getting a lot of
hmm
fun stuff going his way to see if he can turn it into something.
And when we preview week 2, I think you're gonna see that he has already done that
Oh,
exact.
he's made the move.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah. So, and this is all without Rashee Rice, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
0 points suspended. This is really encouraging from Trent squad. Like,
I think
really,
Benson was encouraging too.
yeah,
It looked like it was a little bit more of a committee than maybe people would have expected
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, this is really encouraging from Trent, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of on board with this team. So definitely, he's probably the guy that I'm most like happily surprised by from week 1. This is really encouraging from Trent Slater. Okay, on to the next one. Our UFL game of the week. What a game
Hmm.
here. Bryson Allman and Chase Irvin take down Cole Ryan 125 to 123. It came down to the wire. But Cole once again gets snubbed in a crazy fashion. What a game. Let's get right into it. Quarterbacks wise, Kyler Murray with 22 for Cole Ryan, 13 from Drake May and Bryson Allman. I thought Drake May could have played a little bit better. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I really was honestly a little let down by that performance because I didn't think the Raiders were going to be that much of a, no, I don't want to say a challenge for them, but
Yeah.
it felt like it should have been maybe the offense should have been humming a little bit more.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It did come down to Kyron Williams in the end at that 4 o'clock slate. Cole was so close to just getting a little bit more. He still gave him 15 points, but it wasn't enough to squeak one out. Chris Olave with 12 for Cole. He did have a lot of targets, which is good. 27 from the rookie Emeka Egbuka, which Cole took with the 8th overall pick. That is very encouraging to see. And again, we grilled Cole this offseason just on that wide receiver room. And if Igbuka is doing that, now that changes things a lot because this is a very, very good performance out of Cole Ryan's team, as you'll see. Trey McBride with 16, Brees Hall with 31. Dude, if I'm Cole, I'm not mad at all. I don't know how much more you can really give. Even his bench, Quentin Johnson with 30, Javonte Williams with 24, Hollywood Brown with 23. I mean, dude, I think out of all the teams that lost this week, Cole Ryan has to be feeling the best, right?
No, he's definitely got to be feeling good, but I will bring up one thing just to be aware of when we're looking at it. Javonte, Quinton, and Emeka all scored 2 touchdowns. I don't think we can necessarily, maybe in Emeka's case, that maybe can be happening more consistently. But I
Yep.
think for Javonte and Quinton, that is probably we're touching their ceiling. Maybe I'm
Yep.
wrong, but
No,
I do think it is something to consider that those might be some of their best performances,
yep.
unless something goes different going forward.
100%. I would absolutely agree with that.
But I do like the Hollywood Brown thing with Rice being out and Worthy now being hurt. That does look good for him there. I know we grilled him on that in the preview, so that
Yeah.
does look good for him in the going forward.
Yeah. Props to him, seriously. All right, Bryson and Chase's squad. Bijan Robinson with 34. We fully expect Bijan to be a top three running back in fantasy this year.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf with 20. I think that's a really good sign.
I think the Steelers, just as a whole, the fact that they were functioning like they were, that's
Yeah,
great for DK.
it is. That's a great point. Garrett Wilson with 29. Same thing with Justin Fields and the Jets offense, and we'll get
Yeah.
into that with you here in a second. But yeah, that looks really good for Garrett Wilson.
I
George,
think Pickens looked great. I
yeah,
don't think they gave him they missed some of their shots to him, I think, but
right.
even there was a DPI that they called when they targeting him. So they want to give him shots. So I think that's good. Like he should be looking forward to that. That he's gonna have
Absolutely.
a big week one of these weeks.
Absolutely. And then Chuba Hubbard with 21. Excellent performance. Yeah, this team is damn good. 19 from Aaron Jones on the bench, 14 from Stephon Diggs, 34 from Aaron Rodgers, and oh, by the way, 20 points from their fifth overall pick, Tyler Warren. Um, Bryson's got a damn good. Both these teams are really good. Right off the gates, I'm looking at possible playoff teams from both these guys. I really believe it.
Yeah.
This is two teams that have depth, that have good built squads. Just looking at Bryson though, I mean, it's just going to come down to Drake May. Would you agree? Because the rest of his squad looks set.
Yeah, no, I think his roster looks pretty set, and it would be interesting to see. I don't know who they're playing necessarily, Drake Manor and Rodgers next week, but I would be interested to see if he was going to flip the quarterback situation if he's still unsure with Drake.
Yeah, it's definitely something to monitor. I know Pittsburgh plays Seattle. I forget who New England plays. Well, I'll check. New England plays Miami.
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, he better play Drake May.
Yeah. You're gonna want that. If Daniel Jones is popping off, you need to keep Drake May in. Um, So yeah, that's definitely something. But really, honestly, like one matchup that like both owners should be walking away happy is this one. Like two really good teams, just a really fun matchup to watch this week. That was really fun. I enjoyed
Yeah,
that.
no, that
Uh,
was it was good to see that. I mean, it sucks for Cole because he just lost by 2 points, even
yeah,
though he outscored like half the league.
yeah. But just remember, tiebreakers at the end of the year, if you have the same record as somebody, does go to points scored. So getting
Yeah,
123 is still a big deal. That's good.
no, that's good for him. Yeah, just
Yeah.
putting up a bigger performance than everyone else.
Yep. All right. The luckiest owner of the week, the man who would not have beaten anybody else, um, other than Caleb, I believe, and myself. Jared
And Pletch,
Snyder.
and Pletch.
Oh, and Pledge. Jared Snyder takes down Mason Waller 74 to 65. Just an absolute grudge match. This is exactly how I thought it was going to go. Two
Hmm.
owners who, were projected at the bottom and are giving bottom tier performances. But hey, tell you what, Jared, you're 1-0, baby. You are
That's
absolutely
right.
1-0, and you need to enjoy that win. You need to enjoy it now. Let's get right into it. Dak Prescott with 12, Devon Achane with 18, Cooper Kupp with 3, Tyreek Hill with 11. Jared traded the ninth overall pick to Tyreek Hill. Kyle Pitts with 16. That's very promising. And Chase Brown with 14. 74 points overall. Below average week. However, you get the win. A win is absolutely a win. What is your thoughts on your team after week one?
I honestly, we won when I think most of my players played some of their worst games they're gonna have.
Yeah,
So I mean, I'm feeling good. I think I'm not looking good at some of the receiver spots on the bench because I'm probably gonna make some moves there. I might hang on to people just for like a couple weeks, see what happens.
yeah,
But I expect like I don't imagine the Dolphins every single week are gonna be that abysmal on offense. I'm really expecting that A-Chain Tyreek Hill combo is a little bit better. And if the defense is god awful, then they should be trying to throw the ball and score points
right.
from coming from behind. So I'm
Uh,
not feeling too bad.
Justin Fields with 38. Justin Fields
Oh
is
yeah.
really good. And we'll kind of talk about it more in the week two preview about who you're maybe leaning towards week two as the starter. But just talk a little bit about your quarterback performances from Dak and then Fields and what you thought going forward. What you think going forward.
I feel good with both of them. I think Dak is going to be the security blanket. Like I know Dak is going to go out there. He's a pro. He's going to go out there. He's going to play quality football for the most part.
I thought
Not
Dak looked good. I thought he
No,
looked
he looked good, and I think it's just I don't know if he's gonna wow me every single week, but
right.
he's throwing the ball well. He's playing smart, and I think I got two good quarterbacks, and I think Fields is going to be more my upside pick.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. Going into Mason's squad, this is just getting hard to watch at this point. I love this dude to death. He is the best, and and I'm not even mad. Like he started everybody that was projected higher. It's just this guy just can't catch a break. Jared Goff with 9 points, and Caleb Williams, who he benched for Goff, had 31 on the bench. Like, what are we doing? James Conner with 13, not terrible. AJ Brown with one catch and 1 point is just insane, insane, insane. Rome Odunze with 16 is promising. Michael Pittman Jr. with 26 is promising. And then the biggest dud of the week, the one that absolutely killed Mason that he's going to lose sleep over. He benches Travis Etienne Jr. right before the game for Jerome Ford. Ford gets zero, yes, zero fantasy points, while Etienne got 26, rushed for 143 on the ground. This is just a bad managerial decision, benching Etienne for Ford, although I can't say I wouldn't have done the same. What's your thoughts on Mason's team after week one?
I really think our whole matchup as a whole is defined by our benches
Yeah.
because our bench, look at my bench scored more than my starting lineup.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh, and so did his.
Yeah, no, like we had another matchup going on the bench there that if we just played smarter lineups, we could have been having a better game, but
That is actually,
that's part of the game, you know. We
bro,
didn't play the right lineup, but
that is crazy. Mason and Jared, both of their benches outscored their starting lineups. Dang, I wish I would have wrote that in the recap newsletter. That is awesome. That is a fun fact. That there is no way that's ever been done before, where both teams' bench outscored their own starting lineups. That is incredible. Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that is a dud. But hey, you got the win. Mason moving forward, hopefully he can just get a win. He is 2 losses away or 2 games away without 100 points to tying his own record that he set in 2022 for most consecutive games without 100 points. He's at 9. The record is 11 set by himself. It is just brutal, brutal. What's going on in Mason's camp right now? All right, that is week one. Now let's move on to week number two. Let's get into it. I am pumped and ready for this one. We'll start off with myself. Cole Wagner, 0-1, goes on the road. Who cares? Plays Will Daniel, who is 1-0 after beating Cole Pletcher. I am projected 128, Will at 123. Lineup changes for myself. For now, I had Jawan Jennings going to the bench in favor of Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt after Merritt put up 18 in week one. That is something I will probably switch back and rock with Jawan back in the flex, and I may rock Krosky Merritt as the RB1 over Ramondre. It's something I'm monitoring. It's a tough situation to have. It continues to be a problem for me moving forward. Will Daniel looking like he's going to run back the same lineup of Jordan Love, Travion Henderson, Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua, Calvin Ridley, and Jameson Williams here in week two. Jared, the spread is at 5 points. What are you thinking here in week two? Just your initial thoughts.
I think it'll be interesting to see how things go in that Titans game. If the Rams really light up the Titans, I think you're going to have some problems. But if the Rams come out slow and they fall for the trap game with the Titans, I think you might be able to. I think your players are definitely going to play better this week. I don't think you should be putting up 70 this week.
Yeah.
I definitely think your stars receivers are going to be getting back to what they usually do,
Yep.
especially Chase. I think Burrow and Chase will specifically make it a mission to carve up the Jaguars defense.
Yep. Um, Game to watch out for Thursday night football. Jaden Daniels versus Jordan Love in real life. Packers versus Commanders, and in fantasy here, me
Hmm.
versus Will. So Will is a Packers fan. That'll be something to look out for here in week two. I really need a win here, really bad. So that would be nice. Moving on to the next game, Bryson and Devin, and I am excited as hell for this game. Two teams that are bound to break 100 every freaking week, it seems at this point. This is going to be really fun to watch. Devin projected 138, Bryson 118. Both teams are 1-0 after two really good week one victories for both of them against two really good teams. Lineup changes, none for Bryson, none for Devin. Got to monitor the Brock Bowers situation. for Devin. But what are your thoughts here on this week two matchup?
I'm looking at Bryson to probably have a pretty safe performance. Like I think his team is going to be a lock to put up like over 100. Now I think Devin's team should as well be doing that, but I wonder if any of his players were to underperform, if that could really hurt him in this game. Just because Bryson, I think, is going to be safely putting up 120.
Yeah, it's Christian McCaffrey's projected 30 fantasy
Yeah,
points. I mean, if that is the Devin we are getting now, and if that's the McCaffrey we're getting, we're all in for serious trouble. Like
yeah.
serious.
Until the legs fall off. When the
Yeah.
legs fall off, then we're all back in this
Oh,
thing again.
100%, 100%. But as long as this train is running, we are
Yeah.
not stopping it. So absolutely something to watch out for. Want to see Drake May play a little bit better there on the road in Miami. Devon squad, nothing crazy. Ricky Pearsall now projected 20, and that is the thing that I've always wanted to see throughout the year is can his receivers hold up? And with T. Higgins only putting up 8 in week one, Ricky Pearsall held it down with 28. So
Yeah.
if that is going to be his production at wide receiver, he is going to be dangerous. Let's monitor the Brock Bowers situation on the bench if he were to take out Bowers. Look for Matthew Golden, the rookie, 17th overall pick from Devon, projected 14, or maybe even sliding in tight end Sam Laporta, projected 13 points there for the Lions. So definitely going to be a really good game there. Bryson versus Devon, probably the game of the week here in the United Fantasy League. Okay, Brandon Buckner and Devin Smith. Brandon 1-0. Devin Smith. Demontre Jones. I am exhausted. Brandon 1-0. Demontre 0-1, and now without George Kittle. This is going to be really, really rough to look at here. Let's just get right into it. Brandon projected 100, DJ 99. Lineup changes. Brandon now slots back in Darnell Mooney there for Rashad Bateman, as it looks like Mooney should play here in week two, I would imagine. But look out for Evan Ingram to possibly miss week two. He is right now projected 10, but I don't think that lineup is going to stay the same. Romeo Dobbs may get the start for one of them. He's projected 12. Um, he had 15 points in week one. Caleb Johnson still a backup in Pittsburgh, and Brandon may be forced to start Rashad Bateman if both Mooney and Ingram are out. On DJ's side, lineup changes. Kittle is out. He heads to the IR. For now, DJ has Isaac Guerendo in the flex, but we know and I've heard that DJ is releasing Isaac tomorrow. I know that's been a funny story, him and Guerendo, but I think he's actually going to do it tomorrow and pick up somebody to put in that flex. Jared, what is your thoughts on this game? We're getting a little bit of a shakeup. We get to see DJ without Kittle. I think it's two teams that are trending down though.
Yeah, it does look that way, but I would be interested to see what each of them do to think is their best combo here. I'm curious to see what Brandon puts in that flex spotter, wide receiver, tight end, especially if Mooney's not playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I do think Brandon will probably get the dub. I think Brandon's kind of got a little bit of lucky here. And hey, if anybody deserves luck, it's him.
Yeah.
Facing two banged up teams here to start the year, but he deserves it after just a brutal last 2 years. So, a game that I probably won't be watching too much, just out of entertainment purposes. I'll be watching Bryson and Devin more than anything. But something to monitor here moving forward. And let's see if Brandon can start off 2-0. That would be huge. And I will be interested to see who DJ adds tomorrow, Wednesday at noon, when the transaction window opens. Okay, moving on to the next matchup. Evan Antonucci against Trent Slater. I'm actually very surprised at the projection total here. Evan is projected 116, Trent 112. Both teams are 1-0, and Evan is favored by 4 points here. Lineup changes none for Evan, and for Trent, it looks like he did follow your advice. He's taking out Isaiah Pacheco out of the flex, and he's moving in Deebo Samuel. And ironically, Trent was almost ready to give up Debo in the offseason, and he's kept him, and it looks like it may work out here. This is going to be a really, really good game, in my opinion. Justin Herbert versus Josh Allen. You really can't ask for anything better than that. Jared, what's your thoughts on this game? I think it's going to be entertaining. Would you agree?
No, yeah, I think it's gonna be entertaining. I would be curious to see if Evan's gonna keep Cade Otton in. I know he's a big fan of Otton, but I just wonder if he would be more curious to go with Palmer or even Deontay Thornton, even though Thornton's not like that. I don't think he's playing that much, but he's at least a deep option to get something big to happen for him because he does like his upside.
I do think Evan would be smart to go Palmer over Kadon in the lineup. I thought that was really discouraging. That's not even a word, but who cares? Not encouraging for Motton in week one. So I think Palmer may slot in. I think that would be the right call. Really looking for Evan to bounce back here with production from Pollard and Swift and obviously Terry and Nico. So it'll be interesting to see how Josh Allen does in New York against the Jets. Looking at Trent's team. Obviously we're not probably going to get 42 out of Zay Flowers again, but it's just looking like a lot of really good projection totals. 19 from Flowers, 18 from McMillan, 16 from Devontae. Hopefully Devontae can look a little bit better, but he is going on the road to Kansas City. What's your X factor here for this game here for Trent?
I really think it comes down to, I mean, I think we'll just go Herbert again. I
Yeah.
think Herbert, if Herbert goes up and lights the Raiders up, then he's got his Josh Allen performance that Evan has week one.
Yeah.
He could come back and give it right back to him, and Evan's sitting there in disbelief. He's playing somebody else that has a Superman quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe that's what we look to see from Trent this week.
I absolutely agree. I'm excited to see how Debo does compared to Trent benching Isaiah
Oh
Pacheco.
yes, no, actually, let me back correct that on the Herbert thing. The Thursday night game. Let's see what the
Yeah.
Commanders think is their best bet against the
Yeah.
Packers. If Terry's actually back to getting some opportunities, and they take away the inside the numbers stuff from the Commanders, and Debo can't do much,
Yep.
then we'll see.
I agree. Definitely a good game though. Really excited to watch that one.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb King 0-1, but projected 110. Wow. Playing David Katz, who's projected 125. Lineup changes, none for David, obviously. Really good lineup. Lamar Jackson projected 29, Jameer 22, JSN 20, DJ Moore 18, Goddard 10, and Derrick Henry 26. And then Taylor projected 110. Maybe he is going to be better than I'm giving him credit for. Brock Purdy, if he plays, projected 22. Marion Hampton, 21. That'll be interesting to see if he gets 21. Jalen Waddle, 18. Keon Coleman. So it looks like Taleb has now slotted in Coleman into his starting lineup, taking out Xavier Worthy. He's keeping in Rashid Shaheed, projected 15. And then he moves in Jordan Mason has now entered the flex and to take out Tank Bigsby. I think this is a lot better of a lineup for Taleb. I still think David wins, but I do think Taleb looks more competitive with this lineup on the field.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's definitely his best combination, I think, for right now. And it's unfortunate that some of the people are hurt,
Yeah.
but he's putting him in a spot to at least try to win. If David's players underperform and Cleveland stuffs Baltimore up somehow, then
Yeah. I
then I mean that honestly is the difference. If Baltimore can't score on Cleveland for some reason, then he's got a good chance.
I don't know. I don't think there's a shot in hell Taleb pulls out this win. And
Well, you got to give him a chance. We got to give him the story here. The story here is, can Cleveland stop Baltimore?
you know what? I would agree, and I really think this is an important game for Taylor because after this plays Cole Ryan, and you really don't want to start 0-3. So just this is going to be interesting to watch for Taylor to see if he can hold on to his season a little bit. Obviously, got a lot of ball left to play, but big matchup here for Taylor. See, just get some confidence going. Next up, Mason Waller, 0-1 against Andrew Stiffle, also 0-1. Andrew projected to win 124 to 112. Lineup changes. It looks like Mason is doing exactly what he thought he should have done. Week one, he's taken out Jared Goff, who's projected 20 points against Chicago, and he's putting in Caleb Williams, projected 19 against Detroit. And then he takes out Jerome Ford, projected 6 against Baltimore, and he's putting in Travis Etienne, again, projected 17. So he's going back to his old familiar friend in Etienne. That is his lineup changes. And then Andrew is benching CJ Stroud. So this is a fascinating matchup. It's two owners that are they're already making lineup changes. Stroud has now gone to the bench. He's projected 20, and he's starting Matthew Stafford, projected 22. And then he's benching Kenneth Walker, who's projected 13, and he's starting Nick Chubb, the old friend who Andrew almost didn't even bring back. He signed him right before week one just to bring him on the bench, and now Nick Chubb's getting some playing time here, projected 15. This is honestly, I'm going to be watching this game. This is a big game for both teams here. Neither one can afford to go down to 0-2, especially Andrew. What is your thoughts here on week two? And do you agree with both teams' lineup changes?
I think the ETN move is good just because, I mean, the Bigsby trade is, I think, a pretty good indicator. Like, hey, we don't need this extra running back. We got our guy. He did his thing. He was
Yeah.
highly drafted. So, I mean, I think that's maybe that they're set there. So I think we should be seeing ETN looking good going forward. And then
Yeah.
the Chubb one, I was honestly surprised by how he was playing in that game. So I think Chubb could maybe actually make a no, I don't want to say he's gonna be like the old Nick Chubb, but
Yeah.
serviceable, getting the
Yeah.
job done for
Yeah.
what he needs.
100%. I'm really excited to watch this game. I am because I want to see how Mason's lineup changes does just Jared Goff against Caleb Williams in real life and then the fantasy implications.
Yeah.
If Caleb he put up 31 in fantasy, but I thought he really struggled last night. So just kind of seeing how he bounces back. Um, let's see if AJ Brown can get more than a catch against Kansas City. I do think
Yeah.
Mason's team's not. I really believe it can be a fringe playoff team. Like it's not a bad lineup. It's really
No,
not.
I don't think it's a bad lineup. I think it's just all about like if all of the players on the team happen to play good together, because
Right.
it just seems like he's getting some bad luck on when it's happening.
100%. And with Andrew, the thing that has always been the case with him, and you see it with his younger brother Owen, these guys are very impulsive. They're very impulsive people, and it obviously is in their blood because Owen, after one loss, is ready to ship off to and trade the farm. Andrew is notoriously made decisions that have kind of ended up screwing him over after starting off slow each year, and he's feeding into his addiction again. He's benching Stroud for Stafford. I do think it's the right move, especially with Stroud facing Tampa Bay and Stafford against Tennessee. I think it's the right call to go to the veteran to lead the team here. And Nick Chubb, I don't see Nick Chubb exactly doing crazy things against Tampa Bay. I don't know if I agree with benching Kenneth Walker quite yet, but it's definitely a move. I would almost prefer TJ Hawkinson
I
over.
think the TJ Hawkinson at Atlanta might be better just because of how bad the Falcons' pass defense is.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
will bring up that the Titans, I think, actually ended up having one of the better pass defenses last year,
Okay.
and Tampa Bay had a worse one. So I mean, it could be interesting if he does want to roll the dice with Stroud again, that the matchup might say that Stroud is the safer matchup because I don't think Tennessee is going to be making the Rams have to work for it too hard.
Yeah, and Bo Nix really struggled against Tennessee.
Yeah.
So, Michael Penix went off against Tampa Bay. So,
Yeah.
you got a really good point. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe this is the wrong move by Andrew, going Stafford for Stroud this early. This will be really interesting to
It would
watch.
be a good game for Stroud to prove that he's if Stroud can't score on Tampa Bay, then I think the Texans in a whole just they might have a problem because I don't think the Bucks defense is good enough to beat frazzling
Yeah,
CJ Stroud.
yeah. This is a really fascinating game. Between this one, Evan and Trent and Bryce and Devin, I'm really excited to watch this one, honestly. I'm
Yeah, they
surprised I'm
need this
saying
game
that.
I think is going to be about figuring out which quarterback is going to lead these
Yeah.
teams moving forward.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I think you're right. This is a big quarterback game for who's going to be leading the team. I love that. All right, on to the next one. Cole Pletcher, 0-1, playing Jared Snyder,
You might want
yourself.
to refresh it because I did just change my lineup because I didn't know I could do it yet today.
Cole Pletcher, 0-1, playing Jared Snyder. He's now projected 113. All right. Lineup changes. Cole Pletcher returning the same lineup so far. I do expect him to maybe start Jaden Reed, projected 14 over Xavier Legette. But other than that, he's rocking the same. And then Jared Snyder has now benched Dak Prescott, projected 20 points. He's benched Dak even though he won week one in favor of Justin Fields. We knew this was a possibility, and he has done it. Justin Fields is now the starter, projected 21 points against the Buffalo Bills. Not only starting Fields, but against a team like the Bills is gutsy. This is fascinating. Why not do it against a team like Cole Pletcher? No offense, Cole. Jared, you're projected to win by 14. What is your thoughts here on week one? Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen is also moving in to the starting lineup. So there goes Cooper Kupp is getting benched. These are some gutsy move. Cooper, if this was 2021, this whole conversation's hilarious.
No, I
Cooper
know.
Kupp is getting benched for Keenan Allen. Kyle Pitts and Chase Brown remain in the lineup. So Kupp to the bench. That is fascinating. And Dak Prescott to the bench. So you obviously were not too thrilled with your victory week one. What are you thinking here?
Just matchups. I just think I like the Bill. I think the Bills will. I think the Steelers scored well on the Jets, so I think the Bills will obviously score a lot on the Jets. So I think Fields is going to be playing from behind. It might be competitive. They might have a shootout if the Jets are for real on offense, but I'm
Yeah.
just thinking that he's going to be playing from behind. And I don't like Dak going against the Giants D line. I think a lot of sacks are going to happen, and that's just going to hurt his points. So I'm just thinking Fields is the better play for me.
Wow.
And then Cup, just watching the Seahawks play, the only person Sam is looking at is JSN. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not even gonna bother with that. Well, if somebody wants him, they can have him. He's gonna sit on the bench for a little bit, I think.
That is crazy. Wow. So definitely an interesting game here for you and I tell you what, Jared. I tell you what, Jared. I tell you what, Jared. Like you may be more one of the more luckier owners because Cole Pletcher, that's looking like maybe a win, and then DJ without Kittle. I don't. This is looking not too bad for you. Hold on here, folks. I know we're only one weekend, but you got to be feeling pretty good here against Cole Pletcher squad. So Trevor Lawrence against the Bengals, he's projected 22. Montgomery at 17, McConkey at 19. Hunter, I would like to see a little bit more out of him, projected 18. Leggett at 10, like I said, I don't believe Pletcher will start him, and then JK at 14. Cole's got a really there's no bad players. I think it's just I don't think he's got any, real star studders outside of Lad McConkey. But yeah, do you have any other thoughts on this game?
I think I definitely could like get destroyed still. Like I think if the Jaguars go out there and they play some good football against Cincinnati's defense, I think I could really get thrashed. If like Travis Hunter hits a deep touchdown and Trevor Lawrence throws for a good bit of yards, like I think that is going to be the path for me losing that. But other
Right.
than that, I'm feeling pretty good if the Jaguars don't light up the Bengals too much.
Yeah. All right, very cool. Power ranking wise, Trent is first, David second, Bryson third, Devin fourth, Cole Ryan is fifth, Will sixth, Evan seventh, DJ, Brandon, Jared, Andrew, Owen, myself, Mason, Cole Pletcher, and then Caleb rounds it out at 16. I'll have to fix the rankings there. Obviously, we're only one weekend, so all the power scores are going to be insane. Same with luck. But that is week one. That is week one recap and week two preview. Jared, do you have anything else before we go? That was an awesome episode. I'm ready to get going, man, to week two.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I'm ready to see if the week one rust is anything significant with some of these teams, just
Yeah.
because we don't know yet. It was one week, could have been just a fluke. So
Yep.
we'll see.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of the UFL Newsletter Podcast. We will see you next Tuesday to recap week two and preview week three. See you all next time.